Welcome to the Taking a Breath podcast with Parker Mays.
Alrighty, welcome back everybody to this week's episode of the Taking a Breath podcast. I'm Parker, your host, and excited today to bring on a special guest. But before we get into the conversation, I want to make sure that you know about the conversation happening outside of the podcast every Saturday, 1 hour on Zoom, 10 a.m. If you're interested, this is for student leaders and entrepreneurs ages 18 to 22. If you want to connect, network, and engage. So make sure to join us there. You can find it at Taking a Breath Podcast on Instagram, all the details about that. But today, jumping into my conversation, I'm excited to welcome JL. He is actually someone that I got connected with in the Raleigh area as a part of a local business initiative that I'm doing through Taking a Breath, where I'm giving shout outs and opportunities for local North Carolina-based business leaders, entrepreneurs to share their story and impart some wisdom with the next generation. So he's someone that I really see embodying not only mission-driven living with what he's doing now, but also learning from failure and really over the long term using it as a way to grow. So JL, thanks so much for being here today. Super excited to have you on. Would love for you to share a little bit of your story with the audience.
Well, thank you so much, Parker. I started my journey in 2013, but let me back up a little further. I have always had an entrepreneurial spirit. Both of my grandfathers were business owners. My father's father, he started the first Black cab company in his hometown in Fredericksburg, Virginia. My mother's father, he started the first Black insurance company in my hometown. I live in Winston-Salem. And so I've gotten that. And over the years, I realized that was why I struggled with jobs. So in 2013, I got involved with a network marketing opportunity. A friend of mine called me up and said, "Hey, guy, I got this great thing." So I checked it out. It resonated with me and I got involved, but not ever doing anything online. I didn't know what I was doing. And he was a great sponsor, but it just didn't work. And so I got involved with another thing and I failed at that. And like you said, I've done affiliate marketing, drop shipping, you name it, I've done it, trying to find my way and to earn money online because, or just really just to be a business owner, because that's the thing. I don't have any problems with people who work a job. There's plenty of people who enjoy what they do, they make good money and they're productive. But here's the thing I want to impart upon people. I call myself the king of failure. I failed at everything. But I remember an old quote from Thomas Edison. When he was creating the incandescent light bulb, he failed 10,000 times. And he said, well, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways it didn't work. and that's really what kind of sparked in my mind. I said, okay, I'm not a failure. I'm finding ways that didn't work. But let me also say this, for young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship in general, the acquisition of wealth should never be the driving force to go into business. Here's my definition of success. Everybody can maybe glean off of this. My definition of success is the beneficial footprint that I leave on society. How many people have I helped? How many lives have I changed? Because business owners and entrepreneurs, our job is to solve people's problems. Yep. And if you're in business and your only desire is, I want to make a lot of money, well, you're going to make some, but you'll never make enough. And then when you get to that number that you want, you might become unfulfilled because now what are you working for?
Yep.
So I really encourage people to find something you're passionate about, but make sure that it's solving problems.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because yesterday I was hanging out with a buddy of mine and we're talking about people that we're interviewing because he's doing an interview project as well. And one of the things that he said was, I never resonate with people's stories when their whole motivation for entrepreneurship or for business is to make money, right? The things that I resonate with what you're sharing with what you resonate with, and then what he does is it's all focused around what type of impact are we having? What type of legacy are we leaving? And what type of change is this going to make for people? One of the things I'm curious, as you mentioned, a lot of student-based audiences, when you were trying out those different things, is there anything that you would encourage people as far as what opportunities to look for or things that are red flags as far as like, you shouldn't pursue this route if something based on your experience?
Well, I'll definitely say drop shipping, don't do it. The main reason is because of the payment gateways, which are PayPal, Stripe. They are not doing business with people who do that because there's a lot of chargebacks. Because what drop shipping is in a nutshell, this guy, I can't remember his name, but everybody's calling it AliExpress, Alibaba, where you go to these Chinese companies, you buy. I even did it. That's what I did. I got iPhone cases and they were like 50 cents. And then I could turn around and sell them for whatever.
Right.
But I had no control over the packaging. Of course, it takes 6 to 10 weeks for these things to be delivered. Yeah, drop shipping, I would stay away from. Network marketing is one of the highest earning ways to make money, but it also is one of the hardest because your income is determined by your team.
Right.
And if you are not a leader, if you can't lead these people, and if you don't have a system in place to help them, hit the ground running, you're going to struggle. And the main reason that people fail is because they don't become educated. Internet marketing, there's no college that teaches internet marketing.
Right.
Now, there's plenty of marketing classes and all this, but internet marketing, the internet itself changes so quickly. And if I had to choose one for somebody that was a beginner, I would go with affiliate marketing. And here's why. First, you don't have to create the product. You don't have to handle customer service. You don't have to handle the delivery of the product. All you have to do is learn the audience and put that in front of the people who are looking for this solution. Now, that is the biggest problem, that people don't know how to do that. I see it on Facebook all the time. They're just spamming their links and buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Well, that's like blood in the water. People can smell your desire to make money. You're not interested. So I see you got a bunch of books back there behind you. I've got it back here. So I tell people, become educated. And there's several ways to do it. You can pay for it or you can do it free. Of course, free takes time. But get on some of these 6 and 7 figure ergot blogs. They got a blog or a podcast. Buy books. When I started becoming educated and sat down and read and followed the people who had already blazed the trail, I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. And that's the thing why most businesses fail, is they don't become educated in every aspect of their business. Start out as a one-person operation.
One of the things I do as in my role is work with like soft skills for success with students. And so one of the things that I think that people undervalue is they think, oh, well, I'm already good enough at like relationships with people. What I really need to focus on is hard skill success, right? And I think that there has to be the balance of both. So I wanted to share that. And then also, like for the Russell Brunson example, right? Find that area that you're trying to learn. Like if you're trying to learn copywriting and you're trying to learn marketing, internet, like Russell Brunson is your guy, right? Or if you're trying to learn, whatever it may be. But finding that area and then pinpointing it and learning in that area is so important. And even if it's the skills surrounding it, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, one of my favorite books, that around building relationships, right? But making sure that it's still pointed towards that end goal is so key.
Exactly. That's, excuse me, that's what I mean. You become educated, follow the leaders. You can use it's a blueprint.
Yeah. And they have so many years of experience that you can look at and say, okay, what were the pieces of their journey? And sometimes it's as simple as a book that they spent 10 years writing, and they literally have their whole steps of their journey. So yeah, 100% a good way to follow it.
The education, because skill sets are things that you take with you. You can go from one opportunity to the next, one business to the next. But if you don't have the basic skill sets, you'll always struggle. And some of the basic skill sets, at least in the online world, you definitely need to know how to generate traffic.
Yes.
You definitely need to know how to write copy, add copy. To me, those are the two most important skills. If you don't master those two, I don't care what you're selling.
Agreed.
You're never going to make the money that you want to make.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, of course, Russell Brunson's good at that. Copywriting, Jim Edwards, who's associated with him, he's got copywriting secrets, and I'm not trying to plug these guys, but
no, totally fine.
Telling you that the information that they have in these books, it radically changed. That's when it really changed for me. That was back in, because I started in 2013, so it was 2017 when I got a hold of Russell Brunson and started reading these books, and it was like overnight. Now, I didn't blow up like, make $1 million. I still don't make $1 million yet. But
yeah, that's right.
But the thing I like about what I do is that I have freedom.
Yep.
Because that brings me back to working. I want you to consider this, guys. When you work for someone, you're under a system of control. Now, what that means is they tell you when to come to work. They tell you what to wear if you have a uniform. They tell you when you can take a break. They tell you when you can take a vacation. The most important thing that they tell you is how much you get paid, and you have no control over that. Because I'm going to tell you a story. This is one of the things why I knew I needed to get out of working. I worked for a gym. I used to be a personal trainer years ago. And I'm a good employee. I'm the go-to guy, come in on my days off, whatever. So I'm in there with my manager. She's evaluating me. And she's like, JL, I got a great raise for you. So she's excited. So I'm excited. And she's like, yeah, you're such a good employee, yada, yada, yada. And then she said, well, I got you this great raise. And I was like, okay, how much is it? She said, I got you 18 cents. 18 cents. Jeez. Thanks. Oh, I'll get chills.
Yeah.
And that made me, and then another story, I worked for GNC and I sold $1,800 worth of merchandise one day. And now they pay commission, but my commission was $35. Not even 10. If it was 10%, that would have been $180. I wouldn't have liked that, but I could have ate that a little bit better.
Yeah.
So my point in all of this is that you will work and give up your talents and abilities, and you'll never fully get appreciated. Because the only way they can show their appreciation is through your pay. All that patting on the back and attaboy and here's the gold watch. Because when you work, you can work 40 years, die. What happens? They replace you.
Yep.
And that's just the cold hard truth. But again, I'm not against working. Some people enjoy their jobs, they're fulfilled, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Let's so I want to talk a little bit about where you're at now. So you had the experience with working for a long time, finally got into internet, just opportunities on opportunities. And now you've landed at doing your own thing within the marketing space. So tell us a little bit more about that and kind of what's different now versus these other things that you've done over the past few years.
Okay. Well, because I've followed a lot of people, not just Russell Brunson. There's another guy, Vic Streisand. What I did was I took all of the knowledge that I learned and I decided instead of just selling products, I was going to sell my knowledge because I know how to drive traffic. I know how to, I tell people, the short story is I'm a consultant in advertising and marketing, but I just help people get customers.
Yep.
I know how to do that. Now but how I earn my money, and I have a consulting fee. But there are basic tools that everyone should have if they want to be an online marketer. I don't care what you're promoting, and that's you have to have an autoresponder, you have to have a capture page system, and I say you have to have tracking software. So when I get a client, a lot of times they don't have some of those components, and I'm an affiliate, which brings us back to affiliate marketing. So what I've done, I've created an ecosystem. You come into my world, and I consult with them. I'll give them a solution to their problem, but 9 times out of 10, it's associated with some of these tools.
I like it.
So I say, hey, no problem. You need this tool. Hey, I'll be glad to get it for you. You can get it 30 days for free. And in that 30 days, that's when I'm working on everything. So it's not costing them anything except for the fee that they pay me. And that's why I can lower my fee and kind of beat some people. But let me just talk about pricing. Don't lower your prices, guys, to get business. Because what you're doing is lowering your value, and people perceive the amount of money they spend with value.
Yep. Until
you start working with it. You can always raise your prices later, and don't be afraid to do that. But that, excuse me. But that's what I suggest is you build your business and then have affiliate offers associated so they complement whatever you do. You know?
And I think like with us, a lot of my audience being like either content creators or at least in some sort of like entrepreneurial leadership space, I love what you're doing there in terms of creating the ecosystem. So building the consulting, which then gets them into a product where you actually are able to, you believe in the product, you know it's best for them, and then they're able to benefit from it as well. And so that is a really smart move. And the other thing that I wanted to mention there is I know that young people do this because I have done it. I likely, will be guilty of doing it in the future, is the money discount value formula, right? Like when we are younger, we have the tendency to not value ourselves at whatever the product or the offering is worth. And so that's what I encourage people is like, I hear about, oh yeah, I'm doing like 30 days of consulting for like $50. I'm like, $50? Like, are you kidding? Like in a way that, people are, that's kind of an extreme example potentially, but that type of idea where we don't see the value that we actually are bringing to the table. So my encouragement there is, if you are saying, hey, I'm doing some sort of special offer where it's $100 for a consulting session or something like that, like if it plays into the long-term strategy of what do you need from them, right? I need a success story so that I can market it. I need examples for testimonials. I need clients so that I can get higher paying clients, right? If you're thinking about it from a strategy point of view, and there's a long-term gain for you in doing a short-term strategy discount, that's fine, right? But it comes to knowing your worth and knowing your value, because people are going to put the value on you that you put on yourself, right? If I say, oh yeah, my time is only worth $10 an hour as a marketing consultant, even as a student, then people are going to say, oh, well, either what you said, he's not very good, or they're going to say, like his time isn't that valuable. Right. And so that's my encouragement there. Anything to add on that? Cause I feel like that's a huge point there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way that I decided on my pricing is I just started looking at other consultants and seeing what they were doing. And I did not underrate myself. I didn't care if they've been doing it for 10 years, 20 years, whatever. I still have the knowledge.
Yes.
See, it's not the experience, it's the knowledge that you have to value. And then you force people in a way to value you. Now, what I do, my strategy is I give a free consulting, free consulting session.
Yeah. Free strategy session.
Give them a strategy. And what I do is I have several different tiers.
Yep.
Excuse me. And so for somebody who's not quite sure, but they need a little bit of help, I've got a package for that. And then I've got another package for somebody that's wanting a little bit more. And usually I can start somebody at the low tier and move them to the higher tier as we go along. Because that's one of Russell Brunson's techniques, which is called a value ladder. Where you bring it in, it's called a low barrier offer. It's low resistance, it's low price. We could use like it could be $10 or something.
Sure.
And then as you're bringing them along, he uses the example of a dentist, where the dentist gives away a free teeth cleaning. While he's cleaning your teeth, he says, okay, well, this doesn't look right, and this, well, I got a special I can get you on this. And then excuse me, then he says, well, you really benefit if you just do my 6-month program. We'll get you all this. We'll tie everything in a special price. And then with the internet, you can Google and YouTube anything. So,
and that's the thing. I think that one of the biggest things that I've seen in the coaching space is like, there is so many just like fake people out there who are just saying like, oh yeah, here's what I can do. And it's just because anyone can record a 30-second video and pay $20 for an Instagram ad to get in front of you, right? And then you get on a call with them and they're saying, hey, I want to charge you $2,500. And you're like, well, I guess that's what people pay, right? But it was just him taking a random video on the side of the road and putting it on Instagram. So that's another piece of it, is when you're doing your research, actually look into, okay, hey, what has this person done? What are they actively doing? And how could they help me? Like, are they in my niche? Have they helped customers similar? one of the things that we do when we're doing sales is the customer credibility statement or the client credibility statement.
Yeah.
Is a finding for salespeople, finding a customer that is in your sales niche or in your client's niche that also has the same problem or is looking for a similar solution, and also how they benefited as a result of going through your program. So if anyone's in that space, using that, building the testimonial and bringing it back to the customer's problem specifically is a huge part of that sales process that can really benefit you and separate you from all the kind of like fake people out there who are just doing their thing. I love it. So in terms of the next generation, let's go there for a second. And then I know we're going to wrap it up, but, what's your advice for an 18 to 22-year-old who's thinking about entrepreneurship, whether they're in college or not, but they really want to pursue something they're passionate about? What's kind of your advice to 18 to 22-year-old you?
Well, I would say, first of all, research. Talk to as many people in the field. Just glean as much as you can before you get started. Become educated so that you can hit the ground running. Or don't do a learn as you go thing. That's what I did. and it took me 4 years to become effective. And I struggled. I mean, I washed cars, and I didn't even work a job. I was full time. So I was out there washing cars, petting dogs, doing all kinds of things to make money to keep my business running. I even sold my truck to keep my business running.
Wow.
But one of the things that I really want to impart upon people is you have to build strong mental discipline. Because a lot of people, especially when you're young, they're going to discount you. And they're going to tell you, I even get it now. There are people that tell me I don't have a real job, but I earn money just like everyone else. There are people that'll tell you it'll never work. You have to believe in it so much, because I'll tell you another story. This is a story about this type of thing. Guy wants to be a business owner, be an entrepreneur. So he finds this guru and he says, hey, I want you to teach me So the guy says, okay, I'll teach you. Meet me at the beach at 5 o'clock in the morning. So the guy comes out there. Of course, he's dressed in a suit. The guru's just got on regular beach clothes. And so he says, okay, walk out into the ocean. And the guy's like, why should I do that? Look, you want me to teach you? You got to do this. So he walked out into the ocean. The guru's behind him. He keeps going until the water's up to here. So then the guru pushes him down in the water. He stays down there for a while until he's starting to run out of air, and he starts fighting and struggling, and he's pushing him down and everything. So when they get out, he's like, why did you do that? He said, I wanted to see how bad you wanted to breathe air. And he said, why is that? Because that's how the attitude you have to have in business. You have to want it so bad that you it's like breathing air. You're not gonna quit no matter what. You're gonna fight. Because that's where I was. That's where I am still to this day. Because I still have failures. Last year when COVID hit, I lost all of my customers. I had to start all over again. And some people were like, just go get a job. I'm not doing that. The best advice, like from when if I was talking to my 18-year-old self, is to become educated, well-versed, not just in the trade or the passionate thing. Read books, because don't listen to audiobooks. Read. Now, the reason I say read is because when you read, it causes your brain to create images. It makes your brain grow. And so reading fiction, nonfiction, getting a tenacity that because you're gonna need it. And if you're a person who is looking for instant results, don't get into business. Business is a long-term thing. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years. And most of these millionaires out here have won and lost their money. They built and lost their money several times. But that's because they believed in what they were doing. They weren't going to quit until they got what they wanted. So, I mean, that's really it in a nutshell.
That's perfect. Well, JL, I appreciate you. I'm glad that we got to connect, and I'm glad this initiative has allowed me to meet so many cool business owners, local people, and people that I hopefully, as we're coming out of COVID, I'll get to meet and connect with, especially when I get to start traveling out a little bit more around and doing sales calls and stuff. So really appreciate your time and wisdom that you shared and all of your experience. And I am absolutely looking forward to continuing to build our relationship.
Definitely. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course. All right. And for anyone listening, make sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening, whichever platform, and follow us at Taking a Breath Podcast on Instagram for weekly clips. And it's going to be clips of this episode and every episode that comes out. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Taking a Breath podcast with Parker Mayes.